I'm Sandy Woodley, President of University of Texas Permian Basin. It's such a privilege today to spend a little time together honoring our veteran students. You know, it's November the 11th is a time for us to come together and to honor the sacrifices that you and your families have made to protect the freedoms of our country. And we're grateful to you, and we're very happy that you're part of the Falcon family. You know, the veteran students have so much to offer in the classroom as they're going through their schoolwork, but so much to offer later too. We find that a lot of our veterans go back to higher education to continue their learning and their skills, and we're really proud that you're here. Veterans bring very unique values and perspectives to the classroom. You're goal-oriented, you're focused, you know how to make decisions, and you have a really important work ethic that will take you far in your studies and also far in life. So sit back today and enjoy all of the Falcon family that are coming here together in this virtual ceremony to honor you and your sacrifices. Thank you so much for everything that you do, and we're happy you're part of our family.
Hi, my name is Richard Ortiz. I'm a Marine Corps veteran and the new coordinator of Veteran and Foster Alumni Services here at UTPB. I'd like to say thank you to my fellow veterans, and I'd also like to introduce our guest speaker for today, retired U.S. Army Major Hugh Andy Schaefer. Andy Schaefer was born in 1946 in Fremont, Nebraska, to Betty V. and Cornelius J. Schaefer. He grew up an Army brat, living in Germany, Japan, and throughout the United States. He attended Fort Knox High School and graduated from T.A. Edison High School in Alexandria, Virginia, then attended the United States Military Academy at West Point, graduating in 1968. He went on to serve over 13 years on active duty as an officer in the United States Army, where he was in combat in Vietnam with the 10th Armored Cavalry Regiment of the 4th Infantry Division, and was awarded 3 Bronze Star Medals and the Air Medal. He taught engineering and computer sciences at the U.S. Army Engineer School. He also taught engineering at the United States Military Academy at West Point and assisted in the development and testing of the M1 main battle tank. In 1981, he left the Army with the rank of Major and joined El Paso Natural Gas Company for a new career in the oil and gas business. In 1998, as the Vice President of Operations and Engineering for El Paso Field Services Company, he retired from El Paso and joined Warren Equipment Company in Midland, Texas, as a Senior Vice President. He finally retired from business in 2003 to pursue his hobbies and many other varied interests. He received his Bachelor of Science degree from the U.S. Military Academy, West Point in 1968, and his Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Texas at Austin in 1974. He currently resides here with his wife of 50 years, Betty, where they both serve as admissions representatives for the United States Military Academy at West Point. He also serves on Congressman Mike Conway's Service Academy Nomination Board. Other civic involvements include and have included President of the MCPL Advisory Board, member and past President of the United Way of Midland Board of Directors, member and past President of the Senior Life Midland Board of Directors, member of Mark Board of Directors, treasurer of the Mark Foundation Board of Directors, and member of the City of Midland Personal Appeals Board. He was also the founding president and board of directors of the Midland County Public Library Foundation. He is an avid bicyclist, public speaker, world traveler, and ballroom dancer. And when he has time, he builds wood sailing ship models to relax.
Students, faculty of the University of Texas Permian Basin, ladies and gentlemen, state and local officials, and all those watching this presentation, greetings. We, the veterans of the United States, thank you for this celebration on this very special holiday, Veterans Day. But just who is it that's thanking you? Veterans of all of our conflicts, their families, active duty and reserve personnel, the spirits of those soldiers, sailors, and airmen who have fallen. But mostly today, it is the veterans, their wives and husbands, their widows, their fathers, and their mothers that thank you. But you may ask yourself, just who are these fellows we call veterans? Veterans are kind of a strange breed. When we get together, you'll hear such things as My war was bigger. My war was more important. My war lasted longer. My war was this or my war was that. The bottom line is, some fought, some supplied, some taught. But each person's experience is different and unique, and each and every one of them mattered. All gave some, but some gave all. When we celebrate and honor veterans, we celebrate and honor the United States of America. We celebrate and honor the people who gave up some of the best years of their lives so that we could have our tomorrows. These are people who ate cold, 10-year-old canned food so that we could go to restaurants. These are people who crawled through the mud and the sand and the snow and the jungles so we could walk to church. These are the people who were wounded and maimed so that we could vote. These are the people who died so our system of government can continue. When I was growing up, I looked at veterans as those funny old men in strange hats and old uniforms. Let me tell you about some of these old men, some of these veterans. I'll start with a man by the name of Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. He was a professor of rhetoric, English, at Bowdoin College in Maine. During the Civil War, he became the commander of the 20th Maine, and as fate would have it, on July the 2nd, 1863, the 20th Maine was stationed on the far left flank of the Union Army, stationed atop Little Round Top. He was the last of the line. He was explained that if he fell, if he crumbled, the entire Union line could crumble. So Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain and the 20th Maine stood their ground. Time and time again, General John Bell Hood's division of Texans and Alabamans charged the 20th Maine, and they were turned back each time until the 20th Maine literally ran out of ammunition. And then the last charge by the Texans and the Alabamans started. Chamberlain ordered his men to fix bayonets, and they charged down the hill into the teeth of the Confederate charge. They stopped the charge, turned it back. Little Round Top held, the Union line held. The Battle of Gettysburg was a victory for the Union, and the United States is still in existence today. A veteran in action. Let me tell you a story of another veteran. Lieutenant Commander John Waldron, of the United States Navy, commander of 15 aircraft of the Hornets Torpedo Squadron 8. They were the first carrier-borne aircraft to engage the Japanese at the Battle of Midway. Of the 15 planes that he led that day, all 15 were shot down. Only one individual survived the encounter. One may think it was a tragedy. The men were lost in vain. Actually, they were not. They played a critical role in delaying the Japanese launch of aircraft, in forcing them to rearm with the type of weapons they needed to attack ships. And as a result, sometime later, when Lieutenant Wade McCluskey from the Enterprise and Max Leslie of the Yorktown showed up with their dive bombers, all of the Japanese air defenses were concentrated down at sea level. No one disturbed the dive bombers as they came down out of the blue and sank 3 Japanese carriers and turned the tide of the war in the Pacific. There's another veteran I'd like to tell you about. He was a major when I first knew him. He taught mechanics at the United States Military Academy. I was in one of his classes, and we discovered it was very easy to distract him if we asked him questions about minefields. Because when he was in Vietnam as an advisor, his unit was caught in a minefield. And he was very passionate about minefields were very dangerous things. He had experienced the terror of being in one. I learned a lot from the man. Mostly I learned leadership. You may know him by his full name, General Norman Schwarzkopf. Then there's Mike Christian. Mike Christian was in the Hanoi Hilton. He was shot down over North Vietnam, was in a room with about 40 other prisoners, and he took it upon himself with a small bamboo needle to make a tiny American flag that he sewed inside his shirt. Every day, the 30 to 40 men in this room would say a Pledge of Allegiance when his shirt was put up on the wall. It was a little thing for them to be able to do, to say the Pledge of Allegiance, but it was vitally important to their morale and their spirit. One day, the North Vietnamese guards in an inspection found this American flag in his shirt. They took Mike Christian out and beat him severely in view of all the prisoners for several hours. He was finally thrown back in the cell. He crawled back over against a wall with his eyes bloody and barely able to see. He found his little needle and began sewing another American flag. He didn't do it because he needed it. He did it because the men he was with needed that flag so they could say the Pledge of Allegiance every day. One last story of a veteran. 22-year-old college dropout who enlisted in Omaha in early 1941 and went into the United States Army. Went to Officers Candidate School, became an officer, married an English teacher, trained with his unit until they went into Normandy at D-Day +3. He fought all the way to the Rhine River. During that period of time, he was wounded twice. One time, he and another captain attacked three German tanks, knocking out one of them with a .45 caliber pistol and a hand grenade. He was wounded twice. The last time so severely he had to be evacuated to England before the end of the war. This man was my father. I grew up in the Army, and I honor him today. So who again are the veterans that honor you today, or that you honor today? Let me read a letter. What is a vet? We don't always recognize him by his looks. He is the cop on the beat who spent 6 months in Saudi Arabia sweating 2 gallons of water a day, making sure the armored personnel carriers didn't run out of fuel. He's the barroom loudmouth, dumber than 5 wooden planks, whose overgrown frat boy behavior is outweighed in the great cosmic scheme of things by the 4 hours of exquisite bravery near the 38th parallel in Korea. He or she is a nurse who fought against futility and went to sleep every night sobbing for 2 solid years in Da Nang, Vietnam. He is the POW who went away one person and came back another, or didn't come back at all. He is the Quantico drill instructor who never saw combat, but who saved countless lives by turning slouchy, no-account redneck kids and gang members into Marines and teaching them to watch each other's backs. He's the parade-riding legionnaire who pins on his ribbons with a prosthetic hand. He is the career quartermaster who watches the ribbons and medals pass him by. He is the 3 anonymous heroes in the Tomb of the Unknown preserved at Arlington National Cemetery, who forever preserve the memory of all the anonymous heroes whose valor dies unrecognized on the battlefield or in the ocean's depths. He is the old guy bagging groceries at the supermarket, palsied now and aggravatingly slow as he does his job, who helped liberate a Nazi death camp, and who wishes all day long that his wife was still alive to hold him when the nightmares come. He is an ordinary yet extraordinary human being, a person who offered some of life's best and most vital years in the service of his country, and who sacrificed his ambitions so that others would not have to sacrifice theirs. He is a soldier, he is a savior, he is a sword against the darkness, and he is nothing more than the finest and greatest testimony on behalf of the most and greatest nation ever known. So remember, each time you see someone who served your country, young or old, just lean over and say, thank you. That's all most people need, and in most cases it'll mean more than any medal they could have or did receive. Two little words that mean a lot. Thank you. Always remember also that it is the soldier, the veteran, not the reporter, that gave us freedom of the press. That it is the soldier, the veteran, not the poet, that gave us freedom of speech. That it is the soldier, the veteran, not the campus organizer, that gave us the right to demonstrate. It is the soldier, the veteran, not the ACLU, that is the ultimate defender and preserver of our Constitution and Bill of Rights. It is the soldier, the veteran, who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, whose coffin is draped with the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. Father Dennis Edmund O'Brien, United States Marine Corps. I sincerely appreciate that you and UTPB have taken the time to organize and conduct this event. Special thanks to Richard Ortiz for all his work in organizing it. God bless all of our veterans. God bless all our soldiers, sailors, and airmen, veterans in the making. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Becky Spurlock, and it's my pleasure to serve as the Vice President of Student Affairs and Leadership here at the University of Texas Permian Basin. And I want to give a big welcome and hearty thank you to our veterans at UTPB. We are glad to be able to celebrate Veterans Day with you, even if it looks a little bit different than we wish it did. Here at UT Permian Basin, we are proud of our veterans and all of our military-affiliated students. We have several hundred of you here in our community, and you make our community stronger. You know, I grew up in a military family and lived on a military base growing up, and it provided some of the most treasured memories that I have. I also know the sacrifice that you have made for our country, for your families, and the gifts and talents that you bring to our community. So we celebrate you. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for your service.
A resolution to recognize student veterans and military-affiliated students. Whereas many student veterans attend the University of Texas Permian Basin after serving in the armed forces of the United States. Whereas military-affiliated students whose family members served in the armed forces of the U.S. also attend UT Permian Basin. Whereas through their sacrifices to our country, student veterans and military-affiliated students have made an invaluable contribution not only to our campus, but also to our nation as a whole. Whereas the UT Permian Basin Student Government Association supports student veterans and military-affiliated students as they pursue their educational, professional, and vocational goals, and applauds the work on the campus of UT Permian Basin to support veterans for a successful transition from military life to academic life and on to future endeavors. Now, therefore, let it be resolved by the Student Government Association of the University of Texas Permian Basin that the UT Permian Basin Student Government Association commemorates Veterans Day on November 11, 2020. The Student Government Association encourages student veterans to wear their military service ribbons on Veterans Day to display their pride of service. And the Student Government Association of UT Permian Basin extends its sincerest appreciation of and gratitude for the many contributions made by student veterans and military-affiliated students. On behalf of UT Permian Basin Student Government Association, thank you for your service.
On behalf of all of us in the Office of the Dean of Students, thank you for your service.
Thank you, and go Falcons!
Hi veterans, from Residence Life and Dining Services staff. We want to take a moment out to say thank you so much for your service and what you've done for your country.
Thank you so much. Falcons up!
All right, I just want to say thank you so much for your service. We greatly appreciate you and all the sacrifice that you make for our country. And also a special thank you to your families. I know that your families and your friends sacrifice as well, so thank you so much.
UTPB Police Department thanks you for your service.
To all our veterans, thank you for you and your family and the service you provide.
Thank you for your service.
From the Registrar's Office at UTPB, we'd like to wish all the veterans a happy Veterans Day and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All our veteran students from the Office of Student Accounts and Accounting, we want to thank you for your service and glad you're part of the UTPB family. Falcons up!
Thank you to our veterans for the services from here at the Office of Accounting at UTPB.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of the College of Business, we thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sergeant First Special Goki.
And I'm Staff Sergeant Lopez, and we are your Odessa U.S. Army recruiters.
Just wanted to take a quick minute to say Happy Veterans Day and show our support for all of our local veterans.
From the Navy Recruiting Station in Midland and Odessa, we would like to give all the veterans out there a great big shout out. Happy Veterans Day!
November 11th, 2020. Happy Veterans Day from all of us here at the Permian Basin Honor Flight in West Texas. Thank you so much for your service. God bless you and your families.
On this Veterans Day, I just wanted to say thank you to all the men and women who have served our country. Thank you for your service. And also want to give a shout out to all the Gold Star families, the mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters who will have an empty place sitting at their table this Thanksgiving. Thank you for your service and for your sacrifice.